Hello everybody and welcome to Messingham Sands Fishery, and we're doing something a little bit different today. We're comparing two different poles, aren't we?
We are. We've got the Daiwa G90 Pro, a pole I use. This is actually my pole we've got on the rollers, and the Cadence CP1000, which you've just acquired.
I've just acquired it, yeah.
Now the reason we're doing this is these two poles are off the same mandrel, so every section that you see in front of you here will interchange with the other pole, if that makes sense. To make it a fairish comparison, we've put identical match kits on them as well. They've both actually got Daiwa match kits on them. It's going to be very interesting to see how these two shape up.
Yeah, it is, because you don't see a lot of Cadence poles anywhere, do you? But you see a lot of G90 Pro poles, and it's got a big following, hasn't it, basically?
It's got a massive following, mate. I mean, the G90, I want to say the original, was the best pole I've ever owned in terms of usability and value for money.
Yeah.
The G90 Pro, I've had this a few months now. This is again a brilliant pole. I use it probably more than I use my AZ Pro. Can't speak highly enough of this pole. And I want to get in nice and early as well. I can vouch for the strength of this. You know, I've fished with them. I know how good they are, how strong they are. This CP1000, whatever we say today, we haven't used it for months. Have we?
I've used it once at Meadowlands with a live match with Rob, actually, and it felt great, but you can't go off one match for the strength, whereas your G90, you've fished 100 matches with it probably. I don't know, quite a lot anyway, so can't really vouch for the strength too much, but everything else we can have a good little test today, can't we?
We can, and a couple of things about what we're doing here big picture wise. We've got a number of these videos coming up really, just comparing Daiwa and Cadence against each other, because these poles do interchange. So we've got the CP1000 here on the G90 Pro. We'll be back with another review of the AZ Pro versus the CP2000, and we'll be doing another video where we look at top kits and other accessories that all interchange as well.
Lovely.
Should we have a waggle?
Let's have a waggle.
Should we get things off the ground, Pat?
Let's do it.
I'll let you go first. What are you going to pick up first?
Well, I'm going to go for my Cadence pole then, if I'm going to go first.
Okay.
So I'm going to pick my pole up now, and already I can tell I've only just picked up, and the sections, they do squeeze a little bit, don't they? There is a little bit of movement in the section, but it feels pretty nice and light, to be honest, for a 30-metre pole, which these days you'd expect, wouldn't you? At 30 metres, all these poles feel quite nice, don't they? But I'm just going to give it a waggle now. You see there at the end, like it is nice, isn't it? It is a nice pole.
It's a lovely pole. You'd say, I mean, obviously putting that against, say, an AZ Pro, you'd lose a little bit on the 4th and 5th on that one, but that is, I mean, you'd fish with that all day, wouldn't you? You'd win a match on that, wouldn't you? Fishing at 13 metres.
I'm going to prove it. I'm going to use it for a little bit and prove it, but first, like, pick up with the pole, it feels really, really nice. So, do you want to have a little hole?
Yeah.
Have a little hole?
Let's have a little waggle with this one.
Considering you've been
holding... Tell you what,
go on.
My honest observation, 13, that feels a little lighter than my G90 Pro.
Do you think?
When I'm fishing with it normally. I'm going to pick them both up in a minute. Again, what that might mean, it compromises strength. We can't say that, or I can't say that because I've not fished with this for a long time. But that's a lovely pole. I'd fish with this all day. Finish-wise, I really like the finish. That flies through the hands, doesn't it?
It feels, those first 8 sections very much feel the same as a Daiwa, doesn't it? It's got that little like rippled effect that slides through the hand, lovely.
Ribbed for your pleasure, pal.
Ribbed for your pleasure.
No, it's got those little ribs on it, which obviously are part of the weave of the carbon and the resin. No, that's a lovely piece of kit.
It's a lovely thing. A lovely piece of kit, I reckon.
Really, really nice. So that is the CP1000. Now, before we pick up the G90 Pro, we've got to say a little bit about price as well, really.
Yeah.
Because this CP1000, pole only, with nothing.
Yeah.
So this is just for the pole, as you see it there.
Yeah.
999 quid.
It's not bad, is it?
No, not bad at all. And with the discount code that we can give with this, which people can only use on the first order, people get £99.99 off. They get 10% discount on whatever they buy on that first order. So you could basically pick that up for 900 quid roundabout.
It's not bad.
Obviously, that'll just only apply to the first order. We'll put that discount code on screen. But yeah, so that's a little deal we've managed to work out with Cadence on that.
That is just pole only as well, isn't it?
That is just pole only, yeah.
Obviously with Cadence, you have to make your package yourself, don't you? So
Yeah.
you need to go on their website and choose what top kits and other sections and stuff you want. So.
Yeah, you do. I mean, packages do start, James was saying, from I think 1,150, gets you a few kits with it and a half extension, etc.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you say, you've got to literally build your own from there, really.
Yeah.
The Daiwa, on the other hand, now you can't buy this in the UK at the moment, pole only 30 metres. So you do need to buy it with either the more match, the more power kit
more
package.
F1 probably as well.
Yeah, there's a more F1 now as well. And the other one that they're doing, which might be of interest to people watching this who might fish rivers and naturals more, they do a continental package as well.
Yeah.
And that's actually the cheapest way to get this at the moment. And that's more than twice the price. That's 2,150 quid for that one. And that comes with a couple of extra top fives and some other bits and bobs. So obviously have a look at the packages.
Yeah.
But this is considerably
more expensive.
More expensive, yeah. Let's have a waggle.
Right,
see what we think.
shall I pick it up first? Considering you fish with this all the time, don't you? And I've never actually fished with this pole. I don't even think I've even had a fish on it on your gear.
I'd be amazed. You make me gear enough.
But it feels lovely, doesn't it? It always feels lovely. And the sections here feel nice and strong, don't they? Do like the little movement, the same as the Cadence. Like feels very, very similar. Feels lovely and light. To be fair, you could hold this all day long at 30 metres quite comfortably, couldn't you? Give it a wiggle.
It's worth saying as well, by the way, this pole's had, as I said, 6 months use. And I'm a big
takes...
believer that does slightly soften the resins on a pole and makes it slightly less responsive.
It goes through the hands beautiful as well. And this has got like a normal number 4 in and just a normal long match kit, hasn't it?
Yeah,
so
they've both got the same match kits, so I've just put Daiwa kits on them both.
Yeah. It is lovely, isn't it? It feels very, very similar, if you ask me, Tom. I don't know what you think.
Let's have a waggle. Let's have a waggle.
You might be able to tell the difference more than me.
There's very, very little in it, isn't there? Very little in that.
Yeah.
100%
Give me this one,
honest.
let me pick this one up at the same time. We'll give it a waggle. We'll give it a waggle together. That sounds great, doesn't it? A waggle together.
I'm going to say, looking at them two, yours seems to recover quicker, but that might be because mine's had a bit of hammer for a few months.
It's very, very similar, if you ask me.
I think, I honestly would struggle
to tell the difference at the minute.
To tell the difference at this length, fishing in this way. Now, we are going to do other videos showing them at 16, showing other configurations. We didn't want to baffle you with science. We wanted to keep this video nice and simple. 13 metre pole only comparison.
I think they feel very, very
Let's swap
similar.
again, pal. Let's swap again. One more little swap.
You're going to have another go with this one.
Yeah, there we are.
Look at that. That's a professional pickup, that is, isn't it?
Isn't it just?
I think this one feels slightly lighter, you know. I'm going to say it. I'm going to call it out.
You think mine's slightly lighter?
I feel that like the G90 is slightly lighter, maybe.
I don't know whether... Again, there's very little in it. I don't know whether this one is a bit more responsive, but that might just be that mine's had a bit more hammer.
Yeah.
I think what I'd say with regard to this, and one of the reasons I was so keen to do this video first, is if I was a... how can I put it? If I was sort of a man on the street who used the G90 Pro and that was my main pole.
Yeah.
Now we all go on, you know, we'll do a lot of different fishing nowadays, venues of different depths. You want spare 4s, you want spare 5s.
Yeah.
If you're going away festival fishing, you also want a spare pole all the time. So if you break a section when you're away, you can't afford to replace it. To me, having one of these for, well, with our discount, under or about 900 quid, as a spare 30 metre pole in your bag, that'd be what I'd be looking at.
Yeah. It's fantastic, isn't it?
And of course, being on the same mandrel as the G90 Pro, that'll interchange with the AirZ Pro, the Airity, the Tournament, all the other Daiwa poles.
Yeah.
So, brilliant pole in its own right. We've worked that out straight away.
Yeah.
Also very useful if you're a Daiwa pole owner and you wanted a cheaper second pole.
Spare pole could be a good option.
Absolutely. So there you are, folks.
Hang on, I have one more feature to show you on the Cadence poles.
Okay.
That the G90 doesn't come with. If we go all the way down these sections, so if we just take these two off at a time, we'll just put them down. Try not to lose the pole.
No, it's very deep, that lake behind us, stuff.
So in this section, see it's got a little nose cone.
Yeah.
You see in this section, it's got a little nose cone. And in the next section, it's got a little nose cone. That's something that the G90 doesn't have, if you ask me. And I quite like that. Obviously, it protects your sections. And if your pole does end up going in a reservoir or a lake or a river, it will float a little bit.
It's interesting
you
you
think
say,
of that?
what do I think? I don't like that.
No?
No, I'll tell you for why, personally. I've never understood these people, and I did it myself once or twice and I stopped doing it, who put a load of extra bump, like PTFE or whatever this stuff is, neoprene is it or something, up the top end of the pole. It adds weight where you least want weight on a pole.
True.
And I reckon if they weren't there, it'd be even better.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have anything like that on my
But it saves the sections. It's a gamble. Some people like it, some people won't like it.
And as you say, I suppose, it's definitely valuable to me if it dropped it in the lake and it was floated. I do drop the odd one in. It has been known to drop the odd one in.
I have.
So it is good from that point of view. It's also worth saying about that 13-metre section, Jordan. I don't know if we've mentioned the fact that 13-metre section on the Cadence is slightly longer. It's like the old Daiwa XLS mandrel, isn't it, that one? Let's just show them that. So about 10 centimetres longer we worked out, didn't we? Very roughly.
Give it to me, Tom. You don't know what you're messing with.
Oh, don't be like that, Tom.
Put this one down. So this section here.
Yeah, you can see that on
like
video
on an XLS mandrel, isn't it? Like slightly longer. Can you see that rod there? Probably like 10 centimetres longer when it's actually in the pole. Should we put it in the pole and just show it?
Yeah, so that's basically off, as I said, off the XLS.
You can see those two sections there, like the CP1000 is probably like 10 centimetres longer than the 30-metre section. That's supposed to make the pole stiffer, isn't it? That's what it's there for.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
We'll test it out eventually when we get to 14 or 16 metres.
We will, yeah. We'll be back for other videos on this. As I said, this is the first one. That discount code, as I said, on the screen now, that will give you 10% off your first order if you didn't want any Cadence tackle whatsoever. But yeah, more than anything, just wanted to show you that as an option, whether you want a new pole or whether you're a Daiwa pole owner who maybe want some spare sections at a far more reasonable rate than you can get in any other way, I'm saying.
Yeah.